how to radiate feminine energy to live a soft life, to live a life of ease. Today, I'm going to speak about the 5 habits or 5 tips or 5 mindset shifts that you can start to think about and start to embody to start to live this soft life. Because in a fast-paced world that we live in that really honors and respects productivity and this drive, it's really easy to lose touch with our innate feminine energy. The feminine is powerful, and that's something that we have to honor and understand. She's a magnetic force that is within you, that is within all of us, regardless of gender. And it is yet soft and this strong energy. It's intuitive and it's also grounded. It's nurturing and yet it's also wild. So reconnecting with your feminine energy doesn't mean denying your masculinity, that masculine drive, those masculine traits within you. It's about creating harmony and integration of both. So then you can start to feel more aligned and have more clarity in your own purpose and feel more connected to your own soul and your heart. So in this video, I'm going to share with you 5 mindset shifts, habits that you can start to think about to unlock your feminine energy and start stepping into a whole new way of being as a woman that does allow you to magnetize what's truly at your heart level. But first of all, my name is Jessica Angeleri. Welcome back to my channel. And if you are new here, welcome. I'm so happy that you are here. I help women step into their power and tap into their feminine energy to become their best selves, to become the woman that they truly love and the woman that they feel confident being. So make sure to subscribe to my channel, put the notification bell on if you haven't already. And before I do dive into this video, make sure to check out my new course, Embody the Sacred Feminine. It's such a beautiful course. It's a self-paced online course that you can do to unlock your feminine power, to start stepping into your sensuality, to start awakening to your pleasure, to start connecting with your womb and your heart space, to become your most radiant self. So if that interests you, make sure to check out the link below, and also make sure to check out my beautiful 10-week program, my transformative feminine embodiment pleasure program, Feminine Remembrance. So in this video, we will explore these habits. So as I speak of each one, really feel into the one that speaks to you loudly. And they don't require these huge, massive changes in your life. They really simply ask for your presence and your intention. And as you do incorporate these practices or these ways of being in your life, you will notice the shifts. Not only in how you feel, but also in how you show up in the world and what you are drawing into your life, because the feminine is magnetic. And when you activate your feminine energy, you don't chase and you don't force, you don't push for things to happen. You honor this principle or this quality of ease and softness. So let's dive into the first mindset shift, or the first habit that you can start tapping into to awaken your pleasure, your feminine energy. And that is to start feeling and knowing in your body that this is a spiral journey for returning home to you. Our mind will always want to, especially if you're used to this, will want to know the fast steps, the 5 steps to heal and get there, to heal these feelings of not good enough, or I'm too much, or people-pleasing ways, or numbness, or numbing yourself to pleasure. And that can be really hard to grasp for the mind and for my high-achieving gals out there who love structure and achieving and love to make sense of things, especially if you're used to that. Activating your feminine energy is not about becoming someone that you are not. It's about returning to your true self. It's about embracing the softer, intuitive, and nurturing aspects of who you are, whilst honoring the strength and the power that comes with it, the fierceness, the wildness that comes with honoring your feminine. When I start Feminine Remembrance in our first module, actually, we do start with dismantling these old ideas and the paradigm around how the feminine has been perceived. And we start to take on this new perception or this new idea of what the feminine is that is true to us. Because for so long it has been seen as something weak or something submissive, or that it's just about being in your flow all the time, right? But when you start being devoted to the feminine, there is an opening to this authentic softness, authentic expression, and we start to allow love to enter. We start to feel what love feels like, pleasure feels like, and this impacts your life as a whole. It has ripple effects into the lives of others as well. People start to feel this energy because you're radiating this way of being that is fully immersed in your authenticity. And so we can practice really feeling into this through pleasure practices, feminine practices, the feminine arts, embodiment. Your feminine energy will ask you to turn inward, and that's what these practices help us to do. And it helps us to trust our body's language, the body's rhythms, our inner rhythms. Your feminine will ask you to turn inward for this opening to happen. And when you open and you feel relaxed, you receive. You receive you receive your whole self, you receive love, you receive abundance, you receive your awareness, your presence. We have to practice this, and we have to create space for these aspects of ourselves to be birthed through us, these intuitive, sensual, creating, moving, pleasurable aspects of ourselves that have been maybe somewhat suppressed for centuries, for our lifetime, because we do live in a world that emphasizes constant disconnection, performance, productivity, control, linear thinking, and to always make sense of everything. But your feminine will want you to feel and experience pleasure, to experience life itself, to experience your own heartbeat, to experience the totality of your womanhood, which honors your emotions. So give yourself permission to feel fully, whether it's joy, sadness, anger, the rage, fear, the love. This is how love enters when you honor everything. And that's what the feminine asks of us, is to come into this greater sense of self-awareness and holding for healing to happen. Now, the second shift or inner shift or mindset shift to start unlocking your feminine energy is to ask yourself, how can I allow ease into my life? Now, you'll notice that a lot of these points will overlap, okay? Like I said, nothing is linear. Everything moves together. And that's the feminine. So what does ease mean? What does that even look like? Do you even know what that feels like? And if not, the first place to start is to start noticing, where am I forcing? Where am I pushing? Okay, for a lot of us, this is so easy for us to force, to push, to try and make things happen, to have everything produced and done in a way that is in our control. We have been taught, and we're maybe used to the idea of struggling and pushing and even ignoring our inner rhythms, ignoring our emotions. We get stuck in the doing mode a lot, and this can be part of our autopilot way of being and doing. And we feel that the more that we do, the more that we will receive, or the more that we push and be assertive, that means I am a strong woman, right? But what I have come to know is that this just burns us out, this depletes us, and it keeps us in this hamster wheel of learning lessons over and over again. What if receiving came and was manifested through your ease? That might be a hard thing to grasp. That it can happen through you just being gentle with yourself and knowing that things don't have to always turn out the way that we expect, and they don't have to be perfect. You don't have to have a certain expectation on yourself in order for something to happen or to manifest or to magnetize. And I'm not one to push expectations and standards to the side, but there comes a moment where we do have to know how to integrate softening in the heart and in the body as well. There has to be a balance of both. So this pushing or this forcing something to happen, forcing the relationship to happen, forcing yourself to heal, that's a story for many of us. And we've been taught, or we feel like that's the normal way of being, forcing our way into our days, going right into the doing before we've even softened and felt into our hearts and bodies first. That has been the norm for us. That's what I'm here, leading you the way to help you realize that pleasure can be here, right here for you in the simplicity of being. This is what you are deserving of, and this is the space that offers the softness and ease into your life so you can attract more of that. And then you realize, I have nothing to prove to anyone. I'm showing up from a place of love, and this is it. So this brings me to the next point of allowing yourself to lean back. The feminine knows how to lean back. She's rooted in her worth. She does this effortlessly. Your hyper independence is not a value of strength. Or your ability to have control of all of your emotions is not a sign of strength. Sometimes this can be rooted in the idea that I have to do more and prove myself that I could do everything, and that shows that I am worthy. If you're in a relationship, allow your partner to take care of you. Allow him to help you in life. Allow him to add value in your life. This is part of the ease and the softness. The masculine in him is also energized. And I know that there are so many women out there who maybe don't want to receive from other people. They don't want to accept help from other people because they don't want to rely on anyone else. They don't want to put other people in that position. And I get it. It is easier sometimes to just do things ourselves, right? And we know how to do it. We know how to get it all done. But what if this way of helping and receiving and allowing yourself to lean back is also the element and the principle of connection and intimacy in your relationship? Receiving help, receiving others, and leaning back doesn't mean that you are weak in any way. So it might be worth asking yourself, am I not accepting help in my relationship or leaning on him, my beloved, because there is a feeling of lack in me, a feeling that maybe I need to control. Control might keep me safe. How is this making me feel? Am I actually getting depleted when I'm doing all these things? What if I just lean back and trust it more? Can I do that? And know that the outcome isn't meant to be perfect all the time either? What if you didn't feel like you needed to prove anything? What if you can allow someone else to meet you at the standard that you are at as well? Sometimes we don't even know we are in this control constantly, but asking for help or leaning back and trusting your partner is actually, yes, an act of strength and power, and it is what can actually bring both of you closer together. Remember, you attract what you focus on, and whatever you're looking for, you will find it. So the more your attention goes into having everything perfect and making sure that you're doing it all yourself, the more you're going to feel flustered And the more that you're going to feel depleted or like no one really cares. But what if pleasure and just this feeling of sensual aliveness and connection became this new language to help you feel safe? Safe to let go, safe to be looked after, safe to lean back. And right now, you can do this for yourself. Can you just lean back in your body? What does that look like? What does that feel like? When I want to tap into my feminine energy, I realized that it would require a lot of me of letting go of the struggle mindset. And not only that, but to start accepting ease, to start allowing myself to rest more, and to just allow my beloved to look after me as well, that I don't have to do everything in order to prove that I'm worthy of love, because I am loved, and so are you. Now, the next point, or one of the biggest things that you can start to do to unlock your feminine energy, is to release the need to prove yourself. So that ties in with the previous point, and to start detaching the correlation that we have, that our worth is tied to our productivity and output and performance. So I've just been speaking a little bit about this already. This way of being is very masculine. It's a very masculine way of doing things, and it's not nourishing to our feminine heart and our feminine body, our womanhood. Many women are stuck in their masculine energy simply because they have this deep desire within themselves to prove themselves constantly, to be validated, to show that they are just as good or good enough. And the masculine is very important. I never deny the masculine as playing a huge part of our wholeness. I am, in fact, very much in my masculine energy when I need to do things, when I'm in my business, when I'm in this drive. It's a very important piece for me to get things done. So this has been my journey as well, returning to my feminine and trusting her. I've done a video actually about the masculine. What happens when you are in your masculine a lot of the time, so check that out. It is necessary to have a strong masculine within you. But when we are always in this overdrive, there is an imbalance that occurs within. There is a feeling of, I need to push, I need to keep going, I need to achieve a certain level of success to define my worth. Again, I'm not opposed to reaching high levels of success. I love wealth and I'm all about being of success, and I love successful women and I honor that. But what if we gave success a whole new meaning, and to know that you are successful right now, wherever you are in your life? Doesn't mean that you don't have spaces to expand and to keep growing and to keep evolving. But what if you gave it a whole new different meaning and feeling? Your external circumstances are not the definition of success like we've been told. We have to move away from the idea that the amount of followers and clients and money means success. Money, abundance, and wealth are important aspects of life and success, but it isn't tied to you as a woman and how worthy you are. Because success is felt in your internal state. It's not, I am successful when, and I am worthy when I've done this and that. So what if we just shifted that and we stopped trying to prove ourselves? Because who are we trying to prove ourselves to, and why? This just keeps us stuck in perfectionism, and perfectionism keeps us small. There is no space for beauty and joy to fully enter and immerse into our beings. We need to get off this hamster wheel, because when we're on it, things can never feel like they're enough. Life becomes a constant chase for approval, validation, and it's very external. If we haven't built that inner foundation of true integrity and sovereignty, there's always a chase of what next, constant searching for more. But the feminine doesn't chase, she attracts. She is magnetism. So your worth is always reflected in your current state of energy, in the frequency of that, being in the embodiment of ease, of enoughness, of trust, and at the same time showing up for more. That's the devotion piece. For a long time, I did tie my worth to productivity and doing more and having control of my emotions and showing up in a certain way all the time. And until I was forced, I had no choice but to look within. And I really started to build this new foundation for myself that had to honor my feminine energy. She had to come alive within me through my heart. And through this, I started to honor my own boundaries and honor my own beauty and what my voice as well, and where my energy was going, honoring my emotions as important pieces of wisdom, honoring my menstrual cycle. And all of this was tied to my feminine awakening and how I was receiving. And now connecting with my energy is everything. When I connect with my energy, I understand, am I wanting to be more outward right now, or am I wanting to honor my own heart in this moment and just be quiet? When I started to own and honor my own energy, I stopped comparing myself to other women. I also started to look at my mother different and started to have more compassion for her own path and realized, oh my gosh, now I understand why I shamed myself for even resting or slowing down, why I did tie my worth to achievements all the time. And so I've learned how to look at her with a different lens, the lens of love. So this is all a choice that we have to make, a choice to tune inward and get real and honest about ourselves and where we are at in this moment, and asking ourselves, where am I showing patterns of proving myself and my worth? Am I tying my worth to my achievements? And when I started to get real about this is when I started to open and see the blessings, the beauty, that life was actually loving me right back. The more I loved myself and realized my innate worth without trying to prove myself all the time, is when life started to love me back. Life is always loving us, but we're too busy being in this productivity, that we block ourselves from seeing life and how life is wanting to give us back, to give us the love, to give us wealth, to give us abundance, to give us health and peace and happiness and bliss. Because we might, if we're not opening up to this and we're getting stuck in the, I need to prove myself, I need to keep working hard, I need to keep achieving, I need to keep chasing the next thing, what we have right here is never enough. The receiving and the magnetism happens in your feeling of enoughness. So this is the invitation from the feminine, who's rooted in her worth. And she doesn't need to prove herself. She doesn't need to earn her way to validation. What if you developed that relationship with her right now? You became the lover with her, with your inner lover. Now, the next way, the last way to unlock your feminine energy is to step into embodiment. The first rule of living the feminine way is really embodiment. Everything I'm saying is, yes, I've said it's a mindset shift, but it's really an embodiment shift. And that really means that you're living into the body, which really relates to the first point that I made. Embodiment starts with surrendering and developing the capacity to relax, soften, to enjoy yourself. We embody when we start to be in our bodies. Again, that pulls us away from external, chasing outside of ourselves, and coming into this state of feeling, asking ourselves, how do I really feel in this moment? Embodiment is not so much a function of how much space or time I have, but rather a function of how spacious I feel in my own body and how much I feel in my heart and womb. And this connection is felt energetically, of course, through our senses, through your touch, through your emotions, through your awareness. So that's the invitation, to honor your emotions, honor your sensations, and build that trust with yourself. That's the embodiment piece. That's the sensuality piece. So by honoring yourself in this way and your energy in this way, you don't settle for less. You don't go into a date or a situation feeling really desperate. You know in your body that that's not how you desire to feel and walk into your relationship, because you know you're embodied. When you're not honoring yourself and treating yourself like a beautiful queen, honoring your emotions, honoring your heart, honoring your womb, well, something happens. We go into situations or relationships being misunderstood. You might not feel valued. You might find yourself in people-pleasing ways, overgiving, showing up in a way that's not truly aligned to your authentic self. And you know in yourself when that happens. You start to put yourself second and you make excuses for behavior that doesn't make you feel at peace, and your needs start to come second. Now, I'm not saying that there will be times where you won't need to put yourself second, because that can happen. Your partner might be feeling stressed or they're sick. Remember, relationships are give and take. Yes, I'm a priority in my relationships, but at the same time, there are times where, yes, I do come a little bit second. I'm speaking right now about life overall, how you're showing up in your life overall. Have you put yourself second? Have you been people-pleasing? Have you said yes when your body meant no, but maybe you didn't know how to connect with that yes and that no that lies within your heart and womb? And this is what the feminine energy calls us back into, to slow down, to do self-care, real self-care, to nourish yourself, to nourish your heart, to practice being in this space of what connection really feels like, of practicing fluidity, practicing what it means to really nurture your body and touch your body and feel yourself, what it means to soften, to loosen your grip. We cannot receive when we're like this, energetically and physically, right? Your feminine thrives when you make yourself priority, to soften, to look after your body, to look after your heart, the cosmic heart, the emotions. And when you're making space for pleasure daily, when I say pleasure, I don't mean this thing that is related to sexuality. I'm speaking about this act of connection, of grounding, presencing, loving yourself so deeply, feeling the beauty and aliveness that you are. And this is how you nurture your spirit. Embodiment will become one of the most sensual experiences of your life, because embodiment doesn't happen through the ways of reasons or forcing or thinking your way through it or following those 5 steps to be more sensual. It happens through your practice. It happens just through dropping in. So if you commit to the tiniest amount of time to practice and include some feminine connection in your life with pleasure, just to hold yourself, things will start to shift immediately. You have to be open to this. And if you do feel that burning desire to embody the feminine, don't ignore it. That is your wild feminine calling you home. So I'll leave it there. Let me know in the comments which one of these mindset shifts really spoke to you. Which one are you feeling called to really start to practice and to start tuning into? Which one are you desiring, or how are you desiring to feel more of right now? to build this, as you build this connection with yourself and your womanhood. Thank you so much, beautiful. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did like it, please give me a like. Every time you comment, every time you like these videos, this allows me to be seen in YouTube and by more other women just like you. I hope you enjoyed this. Make sure to subscribe to my free program, Erotic Feminine Embodiment, where you can start this whole journey of feminine awakening, pleasure, and connection right now. I'll leave you right there. Thank you, gorgeous. My name is Jessica Angeleri, and I'll see you again next time. Bye.